I'm freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men power want? More power.
And now, broadcasting live on GMN from an undisclosed location in the Arizona desert. Italian by birth, American by choice. Songwriter, poet, freedom activist, Lucas Zanna with Love, Guns, and Freedom.
All systems go.
Don't tread on us. We're not afraid. You work for us. We're not your slaves.
Hello everybody, this is Luca Zanna and you're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom. Interesting show today and very important information. First of all, Wednesday the 25th of this week of June, we had an very important event in Kingman, Arizona. The ADEQ, from the state of Arizona, this Department of Air Quality Control, came finally on request of Senator Kelli Ward to have a meeting with us, with the people. And the meeting was about, at least the headline of the meeting was about chemtrails, weather modification. What I'm saying here, it's kind of interesting because we push for many months, especially with our senator, Arizona State Senator Kelli Ward, and also with our state representative, Sonny Borelli, that I had on the show already at least one time just about this topic, the weather modification. We've been pushing, try to educate each other, try to pretty much help also our state representatives to learn about this reality. These are real programs. Weather modification, it is real. Finally, our state senator was able to understand that there is a lot of pressure, and more important, a lot of us, many Americans, many citizens and residents, also in Mojave County and in the state of Arizona, in their district, are aware of the dangers of weather modification. So, our state senator, I want to give her credit for that, finally created this event with ADEQ. ADEQ sent two individuals, two lawyers, to this meeting, and that's fine. It's a start. But honestly, I wasn't very impressed when I read on the newspaper different articles, different newspaper in Mojave County, where pretty much Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, according to the newspaper, will make a short presentation at the meeting and focus on the department's lack of regulatory authority over any type of chemical spraying, according to Department Communications Director Mark Schaefer. Also, another thing that I found, since I think this is completely a lie, the fact that they admit that not only they don't have any type of jurisdiction over this matter, and that's not true in my opinion, according to the elements I will show you later, but also even if they had authority, even if they could acknowledge that this weather modification exists, because pretty much what is saying that according to the article, Mark Schaefer completely denies that the weather modification exists also on their website. So even if this existed, they couldn't do anything. So kind of interesting because I found, first of all, we were expecting some scientist, some technical person that could maybe start to have a real testing about the air, the water, the soil. Instead, they sent two lawyers. But more important, before even we go to this weather modification, to proving that exists or not, and I will tell you, it was kind of embarrassing for them. I brought a document directly downloaded from the website of the Arizona state, not even the federal government, directly from the Arizona state. This document, pretty much, you can apply for a permit to purchase a permit for weather modification. So, Mr. Mark Schaefer admitting, saying that denies completely that weather modification exists, according to him, is a conspiracy. And then I can, as a regular person, just bring this document that in the state of Arizona can allow you to have a permit for weather modification. As I said also during the debate or this sort of meeting with ADQ, Mark Schaeffer is an ignorant person. Ignorant means he does not know enough. We can help you here, at least we try to help each other, or the person is in a bad faith and has an agenda. I use the word scumbag on the during the meeting, and I'm not even apologetic, because I'm telling you, if you really are a person that has a bad agenda and you try to also deny facts and truth, you are a person that you don't deserve the job, especially a public job with our tax dollars, and you don't deserve our trust. And that's very serious, because we're talking about here now, and I'll prove you pretty soon, that no matter how you want to slice this weather modification, the metals, the elements being used are dangerous, and there is not really any type of oversight. For example, I called a company this week. I will play the recording right now. It's called the Weather Modification Incorporated out of North Dakota. And they admitted that this company has been around since 1960s. And anybody can hire them. They've been working with the state of Arizona. They've been working with federal government, military, everywhere, not just in the U.S., but also all over the world. So now what I would like to say, this is a very serious matter, because not only it exists, it's so easy to find, and we have state agencies that on our tax dollars, they set up this sort of a show that they pretty much tell us that all this is a conspiracy. We have to go back home and just relax. Meanwhile, I brought to this meeting, directly I served personally the lawyer of the ADQ with at least 12 blood tests taken by myself and other residents here in Mojave County, living in different parts of the county, and all of us had extreme level of barium in our blood. Barium, it's a heavy metal, toxic, can be fatal, and this is not an analysis that I did myself. It was a real medical doctor, first of all, prescribing us this blood test. They were real laboratory, completing the test, and also, of course, the doctor completely showed the maximum level of barium, how much you should have. For example, the level supposed to be, according to the lab, no more than 11. Many of us had over 200, 250. So this is serious. And this is barium is just what we know. For example, when I talk with a company in North Dakota, that they admitted over the phone that that's all they do, weather modification, at least one of the things they do. They admitted that there is this metal that they use, this is a chemical substance, silver iodide, that, and they were pretty much almost like proud, or at least they said that this is what we use. Because I mentioned, do you use barium? Say, no, we don't. But we use silver iodide, and you can also find on their website. Well, silver iodide, it's a very dangerous metal. According to the EPA, this is a toxic substance. It's also considered like a Class C, non-soluble, inorganic, hazardous chemical that can pollute, or that pollutes water and soil. So this is, and they give you some type of symptoms. With mild toxicity, you can have GI irritation, renal and pulmonary lesions, mild argyria that pretty much create this blue or black discoloration of your skin, and severe toxicity, you can have hemorrhagic gastroenteritis, shock, enlarged heart, and death by respiratory depression. So this is serious, and this is a reality that all of us should know. Weather modification, it is pretty much one of the biggest industry out there, hidden in plain view. So what I'm saying now, we have a state agency that completely deny the existence of this weather modification, and is trying to avoid to have even any type of meeting till now. And I want to give credit to Senator Ward to at least giving us this meeting. But at the same time, I wasn't very impressed with her when also in another article, a local newspaper in Lake Havasu, she pretty much said that she's very confident, and that's before even doing any type of test on the soil or the water. She's very confident, Senator Ward, according to the Herald News of Lake Havasu, that the soil, the quality of the soil and the air in Mojave County is great. How can you be confident if you don't have any type of test effectuated? But more important, during this meeting, you will hear that the ADQ completely tried to tell us that the jurisdiction of this potential pollution coming from this airplane, it is all in the hands of the federal government. There is nothing they can do. Well, I approached them with a different angle. I did not even want to think about the airplanes or weather modification, even if, of course, it is real. My approach was I served them with these documents of these individuals, human beings, Arizonans, taxpayers, that have this very extreme level of blood test. That's it. There is a potential crisis, health crisis, that at this point, it is not just one person that had some sort of a poisoning or indigestion. There is something that they must investigate. There is a chain reaction. There is a connection. More than 12 people out of 15 taking a blood test, living in an area of a county, we must know where this barium is coming from. This barium is sitting in our blood, in our muscles, and it's dangerous. And this is only what we know. The problem is that there may be other metals that we don't know, like the silver iodide that we just talked. So let me first of all now introduce you this little phone call, or at least part of it, with this company called Weather Modification Incorporated out of North Dakota. Stay tuned. You're listening to Love Ganser on the way.
Hello? Hello, sir. Hi. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for calling me back. My name is Luca Zanna, Professor Zanna from the University of Perugia in Italy.
Hi, what can we do for you?
Nothing. I'm doing an essay for some of my students that they're very interested in the phenomenon of weather modification, especially in the NATO countries and Western Europe. And it came to my attention, your company seems like is one of the most established company, and I have a couple questions, if you could, just for media purposes regarding this essay. I know that your company is specialized in weather modification, correct?
Yes, correct.
Perfect. And when this process, when your company was established, how long ago? I mean, when did you start to operate in the U.S., if I can ask you?
If you look at our website, it'll tell you that we started operations in 1961.
You would be able to provide this also to regular businesses?
Yes, correct. It depends on each country has their own rules and regulations on cloud seeding. So there's different rules and regulations for each country, and then inside each country, some states and some local governments have their own rules and regulations.
Perfect.
So if you were looking for it in a particular area, you would have to tell us the particular area, and then we would have to research it to see what the rules are for that area.
Perfect, because I have some friends and families here. For example, I'm a guest in Arizona for the next few weeks doing some researches about agriculture, a different aspect of the weather modification, how can influence the different crop productions. And
I'm going to send you to another link that's actually really important regarding that.
Okay.
If you go to, hold on just one second, I'm going to pull up the website myself. There's a project called the North Dakota Cloud Modification Project. And if you Google that,
yes,
it will come up with the North Dakota Atmospheric Resource Board, and it'll talk about their project. And their project is primarily for agricultural purposes.
Perfect.
And if you click on there, there's a paper that they had done. And it's under, on the link there, it says atmospheric research. And it talks a little bit about the projects and the research that they've done. But there also was a paper that was put out just trying to grab the efficiency of it.
Okay.
Specifically, well, if you go to their website, you can research it, but it was very specific to agriculture. So if agriculture is what you're looking at, like protecting crops from hail or increased rainfall.
Increasing rainfall, perfect. That's why.
Yep, that would be a good place to look.
So every state has a different type of regulations that we must inquire before. And so in Europe too, because I know you can operate also in Italy, correct?
Yep. You just each country has their own rules and regulations. In the U.S., we have NOAA. In the FAA is our aviation handling agency, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration. But each country and each place has their own set of rules and regulations.
I have a question. I mean, you seem like to be a very well-established company. I'm so glad that I found you today because this is very important. So to understand clearly, do you provide also the hardware or you just provide the consulants and the type of permits? I mean, are you also going to provide the airplanes?
Both. We can provide just the equipment, or we can provide the equipment and the personnel as like in a turnkey project. So and the other neat thing we do offer a technology transfer. So if it's something that you're looking for to do for the next 20 years, but maybe you don't want us to be there doing the program for you for 20 years, we can come in and set up a program for you and be a consultant for you, help you get going, do the training, get you the necessary equipment, the aircraft, all the supplies to get going and show you how to use it, and then eventually turn it over to you and it can be your own project.
Here we go, guys. What you heard was just a part of the interview with this Weather Modification Incorporated out of North Dakota. You can listen to the rest of the interview on the website lovegunsfreedom.com. In today's show, Sunday, June the 29th, 2014. You go to the show, that page, and you will see also this interview. The complete interview is on YouTube. So this is interesting, This is just another little part of this equation, of this conspiracy. That is not a conspiracy at all. It's factual. Or maybe there is a conspiracy. Conspiracy is against us, human beings, because this is not just against the American people. This is not just against people from Arizona or Mojave County. This is all over the Western world. Now, why are they doing this? There are different ideas, opinions, educated opinions, but also what they're trying to say. First of all, they're trying to deny. The different governments, they're trying to deny in a very, very serious way. And then when they get caught, they say, because pretty much they need to try to defend us from global warming. I mean, this is part of different mainstream media articles, like was on USA Today, was also on Associated Press. There are different articles about geoengineering as a form of defense against this global warming. But then, when you realize that maybe they are creating global warming, there is maybe much more. I believe, in my opinion, there are many more reasons. First of all, it's a big money machine. Remember, they're dumping metals from the sky. They're supposed to be probably, legally and technically, many of these metals, they cannot just be dumped in the environment. They must be disposed and cost a lot of money. So, like, for example, the barium is not exactly something easy to dispose. But if you find a way that you could use it for some sort of a peaceful application, as they say, and they have a legislation out there that pretty much the federal government can experiment on us, on American people. Anything when it's for peaceful application or pharmaceutical research or any type of crowd control or even just for research. And as I said, also as a emergency, national security, that says it all. So we don't know exactly, but for sure there is a way that they can use this. We are paying, somebody's paying for all these airplanes, somebody's paying for all these metals being dumped on us. Then there is another aspect. Whoever controls the weather, remember, control the food supply. And controlling the food supply, you also control the population. So look at this right now. We have the biggest drought in the Southwest. And we know very well that the weather technology, the weather manipulation, the weather control, this geoengineering, it's real. Why we have the worst weather, the worst conditions that you can imagine? maybe this service, this sort of service that is not working that well. Maybe it's working exactly the way they wanted it. So we have a big problem right now in Central California shutting down, the food prices going up, Arizona water levels going down. This is serious. I believe this is part for me also of Agenda 21. They have a way to relocate and migrate populations, and they try to push us in all these different centers, big mega cities, and they want us to leave these sort of last Wild West areas. That's another way. And then also, let's not forget that there is also a lot of things like seedings. You try to grow some seeds that they're not genetically modified, like Monsanto has a patent on one seed that is aluminum resistant. And any other type of seed may die or not even give you the fruits. I did an experiment with the zucchini. GMO zucchini grows well, put close to the next organic zucchini, you don't have any fruit. This is not a conspiracy. This is a fact. So there are many different ways. And also I really believe that there is this implementation of this depopulation that has been on the open, not just now, but you can see on record. Bill Gates and the United Nations, they pretty much have this plan to depopulate or to block the number of growth. And unfortunately, this is very sad because they're playing like the role of God. Not only they control the food and the water, but also they can make you sick. Because these metals, for example, what we were talking about before, the silver iodide, is a toxic. And so the barium, and according to doctors, several doctors, this is not just my opinion, barium in your blood pretty much destroys your immune system. And if you're already older or old, if you already have some persistent medical conditions, that would create a lot of extra situation that you may have real serious consequences regarding your health, or maybe a premature death. And unfortunately, a lot of people are dying lately, little bit everywhere. People are getting sick, and the different symptoms are pretty common. And at least in the community where I live, I'm talking with several people. People are getting very tired, muscle pain, some sort of a sneezing, or even not sneezing, just the nose running and being tired, and maybe even constipation as another symptom. So, and then of course, when you're already taking medication and when you're already sick, this could degenerate also in more serious situation. So now we're going to go to the second part of the first hour, where we'll interview an expert about this geoengineering, a person who dedicated a lot of years and also was there at the meeting, at the county meeting in June the 25th, 2014, with ADEQ, Senator Ward, and more than 100 residents of Mojave County, and many people also came from outside the county. They came from Phoenix, they came from Tempe, from Nevada. Very exciting, very exciting. The room was packed. I was so proud to be there. I had a chance to say something myself. So we will talk about now the second part, about exactly what went there, and we will get some nice recording and some nice little audio reports. Okay? Stay there. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna on 1340 AM on Guerrilla Media Network, and of course on lovegunsfreedom.com. Ciao. Don't go away. Stay tuned.
After the Fukushima disaster, people rushed to protect themselves from radiation poisoning with potassium iodide. Unfortunately, since then, beer potion salesmen rode the plume and sold products which do absolutely nothing to rid the body of harmful radiation after a nuclear disaster. Scientists are now admitting that Fukushima's cesium-137 levels are 50% higher than they originally thought, and the cancer-causing radioactive isotope, which will contaminate our soil for the next 200 to 300 years, cannot be removed from the human body with iodide-based products. developed by food science researcher Mike Adams. This patent-pending proprietary formula of zeolites and other ingredients called Cesium Eliminator helps support your body's natural elimination of lethal cesium isotopes. Go to radiationdefender.com to learn more and order your emergency supply of the most effective radiation eliminator on the market today. If you've ingested cesium-137, you are irradiating your body from the inside out. Throw away your potassium iodide and replace it immediately with Cesium Eliminator.
GMN is killing communism, one show at a time.
The Bill of Rights contains the first 10 amendments of our Constitution. They guarantee the specific freedoms Americans should know and protect. Our liberty depends on it. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll be right back with an unforgettable way to remember your First Amendment rights.
Your search engine is watching you, recording all your searches and creating a massive database of your personal information. That's creepy, but it doesn't have to be that way. Startpage.com is the world's most private search engine. Startpage doesn't store your IP address, make a record of your searches, or use tracking cookies, and they're third-party certified. If you don't like Big Brother spying on you, start over with Startpage. Great search results and total privacy. Startpage.com, the world's most private search engine.
SPAR. It's what fighters do. It's also how I remember the 5 guarantees of the First Amendment. If you plan to take away my rights, I'm going to spar with you. SPAR with an extra P. S for speech, P for press, another P for petition, A for assembly, and R for religion. Most Americans are familiar with the First Amendment guarantees of free speech, press, assembly, and religion. But petition for redress is another matter. We have the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. It means that if we're unhappy with what's going on in our government, we can spell out the reasons without fear of being thrown into jail. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht. More news and information at catherinealbrecht.com.
Hi folks, Ronnie McMullen here, talking to you about the immune system. As a talk show host, one of the major topics is health. It seems there are powers that be that want and desire the public to be sick. These are huge topics discussed in my show, but there is a way to combat this sick system. Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is an all-natural product that gently cleanses your inside, gives you more energy, and builds your immune system. All organic and a natural weapon against toxicity. Customers have been buying year supplies to make sure they're prepared and healthy. Interested? You should be. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com, or you can call us direct at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. On the Ronnie McMullen Show, these topics get covered. On the Get the Tea website, these topics are addressed. Get rid of the dis before ease. You'll just be left at ease. That's getthetea.com.
Aloha, this is Tahiti Joe, the maker of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces and the Maui Pepper Company.
After inventing his delicious Polynesian hot sauce, Tahiti Joe wanted to make another gourmet hot sauce that his lady would enjoy.
After a wild, passionate weekend on the islands, he thought, wow, she's not only hot-blooded, she's also half Italian.
With that in mind, Tahiti Joe created a tropical-style garlic hot sauce his lady would crave.
Now, Tahiti Joe's Tropic Garlic Hot Sauce has become the #1 garlic hot sauce on the market.
Tahiti Joe and his sisters dedicated Tropic Garlic to their father because he's their big kahuna and it's his favorite.
All of our sauces are made with a beautiful array of ingredients with no preservatives added, and are prepared with a tropical passion for that perfect balance of flavor and heat delivered directly to you.
www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com.
With email, Skype, Facebook, Twitter, and cell phones, we're more connected than ever before. But there are huge privacy and security problems with all of them. Things are being blocked where they're needed most, where people are fighting for their beliefs. Now, wouldn't it be nice if there was a way to replace Skype, Facebook, email, and messaging with something more secure so you can communicate freely? Ready to change the world? Introducing Unseen, the first free, secure, and private communication platform. Secure chat, secure messaging, secure content delivery, like nothing else. Unseen gives you the key to freedom. You have the power to change the world. Sign up now for free to give freedom.
Infidel Body Armor, made in the USA, an Oathkeeper and disabled veteran-owned business in Texas, selling to U.S. patriots concerned about any type of ballistic threats when it hits the fan. Not just law enforcement and military. The engineers at Infidel have designed lightweight, wearable, and durable body armor with life-saving reliability, made with military-grade steel and capable of withstanding hit after hit from high-velocity, large-caliber rounds. From rapid deployment systems to tailored models, Infidel Body Armor has all the right gear, especially suited for any grid-down situation. Infidel Body Armor sold at a fraction of the typical cost for police and military gear, which is designed to be replaced after ballistic impact. Remember, in the middle of societal collapse, replacement ceramic and Kevlar will not be easily found. Infidel's Armor Combo with plate carrier, front and back plate start at $375. Visit GorillaMediaNetwork.com/infidel to check out Infidel's Body Armor and make sure you let them know you heard about them on the Gorilla Media Network.
The first thing I do need to let you guys know, though, I am not here to debate the science of aircraft engine emissions. I am not a scientist. I am an ADEQ environmental policy specialist. I can talk to you about jurisdiction. I can talk to you about some of the processes in our programs, how things get done. I am not a scientist. So if you are here to hear some information about the science, the validity of aircraft engine emissions, I apologize. You will probably be disappointed. That's not what I'm here for. What I am here for, though, is to tell you where you can get some information, where you can make some complaints, where you can ask some questions. Part of the problem with this particular issue is that Arizona, the state of Arizona, and specifically the Department of Environmental Quality, has no jurisdiction over aircraft engine emissions.
Hello, my name's Al DeChico. I live in Golden Valley, and I understand that this is a federal issue. I understand that from speaking to the governor's office, that they cannot or will not even make a statement about this. My question is, have you tested the rainwater? And if you haven't, have you seen the results of our rainwater tests? And also, are you aware that many of the people sitting in this room right here have very high levels of barium, aluminum, and strontium in their blood? People are getting sick and dying. And we want the ADEQ not just to give us a little speech today, but actually to maybe perhaps speak out against it if you know it's going on, and if not, I would suggest you do a lot more investigation. We've been doing it for years. So I'd like a comment on, one, the rainwater, what's in it, and two, what's in our blood. And if it's not coming from geoengineering, is it your responsibility to investigate that and tell us where it is coming from? Thank you.
Is it your belief that federal law trumps state law in all cases, even if it's unconstitutional? I'm Dan Kemp. I'm from Henderson, Nevada.
Todd Howard from Kingman. I understand your skepticism, I really do. But I have a couple questions for you, not to come up against you, but to try to get your institution, your agency moving. The ADEQ?
Yes, sir, ADEQ.
Has a mission statement, does it not? It was created for a purpose.
It does.
Can you tell us what that is?
If I can read it, I certainly can. Our mission statement is to protect and enhance public health and the environment in Arizona.
Very good. Okay, my second question to you is this. Now, if these people have evidence, if they have enough accumulated evidence to be of interest, can you tell us who to send it to get an investigation going? Because if their health is in danger, that's within your mission statement. My third question to you is, if there is sufficient evidence to invoke your jurisdiction for the purposes of your mission statement, can the state of Arizona, through your office or through someone else, file that complaint against the federal government and get something moving? So can you tell us who to send our evidence to? Who are these scientists in your department that we could send it to?
The problem is we have no jurisdiction over this issue, so sending it to our scientists won't help. We can't do anything.
Why do you not have jurisdiction if your mission statement has to do with public health and they have evidence that their health may be being affected, not by engine emissions, but apparently by a deliberate spraying effort? When does your mission statement bring in your jurisdiction in the interest of the people of the state that you're apparently intended to protect? If you can't do that, what is the purpose of your department? So who do we send our evidence to get our public servants moving? Certainly.
No, that's a valid question, and I'm honestly not sure who you could send them to because we would not have jurisdiction. Okay? So I would send you back to the EPA or to the FAA. Okay. I got to go to this side for a couple minutes. So yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Luca Zanna. I'd like to I live in Golden Valley. First of all, thank you for driving all the way here. I know it's very hot. Thank you, Senator, for starting to move the ball rolling. As she said, we need to do small steps. But let me tell you, more important, I want to thank you and all the people that have been pushing this issue the last few years. Because without this, no senator, no state would have even cared about all this. So we must thank ourselves, and I really mean it, okay? I appreciate you coming. I understand already, according to different newspapers, that pretty much you're here just to make some statement of jurisdiction. I read here, for example, Arizona Department of Environmental Quality will make a short presentation at the meeting, and the department lack of regulatory authority over any type of chemical spraying, according to the Department Communications Director Mark Schaffer. Question is, I wish, since this is our tax dollar, this room, cost, electricity, air conditioning, your time, I'm sure you know, for free, and we are the one pretty much pay for all this. You could have sent us a fax or maybe an email, because if they're really what the state is telling us, that pretty much you have no jurisdiction, and according also to another article, even if you would admit that there is a problem coming from this type of environment, we're talking about the airplanes, you still couldn't do anything. I wish there was something like more, maybe some scientists, because I tell you something, I'm not even going to approach this from a point of view of geoengineering, weather modification. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about there is a real serious crisis, health crisis, documented, and officially I would like to serve you right now, not as a legal, but as documents that I already sent the register to the governor, to former Senator Gould, for the former representative of our district. There are like at least 12 blood tests here, created by official laboratory with real doctors, MD, and all these blood tests came back with a high, extreme level of barium, some aluminum. I'm talking about levels that they go about more than 1,000%. So I forget about the airplanes, the aliens, and anything else. This is a crisis. We have people that they are suffering, and we don't know where this source is from. The barium. I tell you something. We did also some extra jobs, since we understand the state is kind of bureaucratic before it moves. And a former state representative, Nancy McLean, told us that we people in Golden Valley, we water all. First of all, these tests are vary from different parts of the county. Some also are from Phoenix. And I do not water all. I got my own well, and I tested the well, and the water is clean and pure. Food. The last meeting at the county a few years ago, they told us that we get it from food. We do not live in a commune like in Russia, okay? Everybody got their own homes, and everybody grow or buy their own food. So there are a lot of things that I think is a state duty to investigate. I want to bring you here today officially, ma'am. This is for you. There are blood tests with names. Some they're being blacked, but they are real blood tests that deserve attention. And it's your duty, moral and legal duty. You're on the record.
Greg Mack, Kingman, Arizona. This is a serious problem. And you're pretty much saying right now that your agency, your hands are tied and everything's out of your jurisdiction.
Yes, sir.
And you spoke earlier, you have standards. I'm curious to know when those standards were set, and when do you renew them and do new tests to see what they're dumping on us?
So as I mentioned earlier, the standards for aircraft engine emissions are developed by EPA. I do not off the top of my head know when they were last reviewed. That's a very good question. But EPA develops those standards.
Okay, first of all, my name is Deborah, and I'm from Mesa, Arizona. This is not emissions from an airplane. That's completely disinformation. It doesn't come from engines. This comes from spray nozzles that are retrofitted on airplanes. And I want to know, that's right. My question is, if you don't have any jurisdiction over the air quality, or over the air, when they fly up in the air and they dump this on us, who has jurisdiction over the generators while they're on the ground?
We have jurisdiction over the ground generators, yes.
Okay, so who's testing those? And the airplanes that emit these while they're on the ground, before they fly up in the sky?
Yeah, I think that all of us for a long time have known that we're being sprayed. This is not contrails. Contrails are very short. Chemtrails go along the sky. And when you see these planes go from one end of what you see to the other and back again and back again and back again, and you have sometimes as many as 10 planes doing this at one time. And, you know, we have gotten a hold of Jan Brewer's office and the senators throughout the United States. And in Jan Brewer's office, finally, they said, oh, well, you need to do the FAA. We got a hold of them, nothing. They said, there's nothing, it's contrails. So then we go back to Jan Brewer's office, and no one will talk again. And really, frankly, we're not the only people. There are people all over the place that have sent information in. Now, you're here, and you're inadequate to be able to take care of this for us. But whoever can, anybody who's in a place of power, like Kelli Ward, or you in your office, you need to really push this, because really, we are being sprayed like we're bugs, and it's really not okay.
Todd Howard, Kingman. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for coming. I know you all have valid concerns, and I'm sure that a lot of you have good, solid evidence. But what I want to talk to you about is, no matter what you present here tonight, it's going to fall on deaf ears. Now, they've told you this is a jurisdictional matter. And the reason I wanted this nice lady here to point out the mission statement of the ADEQ is, you are that jurisdiction. Do you understand? They have no jurisdiction about what comes out of the back of an airplane until it affects your health. Now, you have to, listen to me, what you have to do is you have to get your evidence together, and you have to make a claim. You have to file a complaint, and you've got to be able to substantiate it. For any state agency to find jurisdiction, there's got to be a claim of damage. Do you understand that? It's very simple law. I guarantee you that the state agencies have jurisdiction when they want so many bucks for you running a stop sign. They're just happier than hell to collect money. But if you want to get them moving for your benefit, then you have to understand that you are that jurisdiction, and you have to set that jurisdiction in motion. Get your public servants off top dead center. Get a claim together. Get your evidence together. Get organized. Please, please do not be so naive as to think you're going to make anybody up there care. They're your public servants. Get them in motion. Get your claim together. Get moving. Do not be naive.
Thank you, Senator Ward, for coming to this meeting. I'm surprised we didn't have the pledge this evening to start it off. But as a Vietnam veteran, we were told not to worry about Agent Orange. I would like to once again serve my country to stand behind one of these jetliners with you, the Attorney General and ADEQ Director, and a few of your fellow senators with no face masks for 15 minutes. Be sprayed what is ever coming out of these planes, since there is nothing to worry about. Roy Trampy, Hackberry, Arizona.
First, I'd like to make a plain statement of fact.
no matter what anybody thinks, the United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and it will be obeyed by everybody, including the ADEQ. Next is a little bit of an opinion. We had hard questions here. I don't understand why the ADEQ would send somebody that looks more like a lawyer when we really need a scientist, maybe doctors, somebody that can answer the hard questions and not just shuffle us away and then you go on about your business. And the other thing is, this is a representative form of government. And we, the people, are the ones that you represent. And I'm not seeing a real good job being done. I hope we don't have to remind everybody the last voice is us. And we are ruled by the consent of the governed. And if we don't start getting back a little bit closer to what the people want, we may have to remove that consent and even remove some of the public officials that represent us.
Every single one of you are affected. And those planes that are flying over that are dropping this stuff, no wonder they're unidentified. At any given time, I can go on my phone and ask, what's above me? And it'll give me any airplane that's flying over above me, except the ones that are dumping this stuff on us. So you have to wonder, why are they keeping that secret?
First of all, I will stick with facts. As I said before, we have there on record 12 blood tests that it's been, it's your duty to find out. Forget about the airplanes, as I said. We have people with real high level of heavy metal. I think it's the duty of every state, starting from the county. That's why we pay taxes, supposed to protect our rights. Among those, life, okay, and our health. So I believe in that. Besides the jurisdiction about the airplanes, I have a question for Mr. Mark Sheffer. Is he in town today? Is he here or is watching? I hope you're watching, Mr. Sheffer, because I have a very straight question for you. My name is Luca Zanna from Golden Valley. I have here an hard copy from the state of Arizona for $100. I can apply directly from the state for a geoengineering service. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. This was a good about almost 15 minutes of different audio recordings of this meeting held at the Maury County building with ADEQ from the state of Arizona, Air Quality Control, and hosted by Senator Kelli Ward, and more than 100 people, more than 100 concerned citizens, constituents. And as you heard, this is serious. Geoengineering, weather modification, it's real. The state of Arizona is denying it. ADEQ pretty much says that if existed, would be not their jurisdiction, but meanwhile also deny even they exist, or this program exists. So it's kind of interesting. I've been sarcastic, but I think at this point it's our duty, first of all, to demand from the state, before even we go into the airplanes and the weather modification, they need to test our soil, the quality of our air, because we have people, among these myself, we have very high or extreme high levels of barium or other metals in our blood. So this is a serious matter. So meanwhile, this is important. It's been a first step. I appreciate Senator Ward for a first step. But this is not the end. And we don't have time for small steps. We need to move this faster as we can, because this is about life or death. This could be one day, a few years from now, like the downwinders, people that died for cancers because they were doing not that far from here in Mojave County, experiments, nuclear experiments, the federal government, and nobody wanted to believe. Everything was fine. Everybody said, go back home and everything's going to be fine. And then a few years later, people died. No, we cannot allow this. That's why I appreciate the opportunity of this show. I appreciate the opportunity of our sponsors to try to share this information. This is not an informative show in the sense of entertainment. This is a show about information, about vital information, how to defend our rights, how to defend our lives, how to defend this republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. So this is what it's about. The first hour we had was pretty much about this meeting. Now we will have the second segment. We will also add in the second hour more extra information about this interview with this expert. We had people driving from all over the different parts of the states and also the state. People from Nevada and people from Eastern Arizona, people from Phoenix. I mean, this was amazing. For a business day, 5 o'clock afternoon, working hours, over 120 people probably in this building. That was amazing. And so now I would like just to remind something very important. Sponsor, our sponsor. Without sponsors, we couldn't be here. This is not like NPR. They rob your money through the government. We are taxpayer. We work as a free market. We appreciate the help of our sponsors, and we appreciate the listeners' help that they can support our sponsor. So our sponsor is Colorado River Vapor. They have 2 locations. One is in Bullhead City, 1931 Highway 95, and also the other one, new location. The older location is in Fort Mojave, 4400 South Highway 95. Colorado River Vapor. I know the owner, Tom, and his lovely wife. This is a very interesting new business, and more important, I think it's a new product. If you want to try to stop this bad habit of smoking real cigarettes, I think you should take a look at this new alternative of vaping, as they call it. I try myself. I normally don't smoke at all, but it's fun. And more important, when you go to their locations, especially you go in the location in Fort Mojave, I mean, it's amazing. They have a very amazing place to play music, meet people, like-minded friends, because I tell you, this is not just about regular people that we have as sponsors. We don't have just regular corporation. We have corporation or companies or individuals who believes in freedom. And that's what we're doing. We are together, regardless party's affiliation. We believe in liberty, we believe in individual rights, and that's why we're here. Also as a media, because it's not just about giving you information about facts, it's also about giving information about events and news. And this is our duty to investigate. So, you've been listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna, and as I said, this is not exactly my mission in life that I want to become a radio guy. If you understand, I'm here because of desperation. I'm here because of I love America. I'm here because as a new American, I took an oath to defend this republic. And for me, the radio is just the media. I'm here to try to reach you as a fellow American, as a fellow human being, to tell you that we must awake. We must wake up, because we are really in a very dangerous time in this country. And we're losing our rights, and our lives are in danger. So, we will talk about love, we will talk about guns, meanwhile we talk about our rights as among those life. Thank you very much. You've been listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. Stay tuned for the second hour. Ciao.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman. I'm not afraid. And a constitutional activist. I'm not afraid. Italian by birth. I'm not afraid. American by choice. Gianluca Zanna. I'm not afraid. And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Do you have low energy, depression, inflammation, pain, colds and flus, yeast overgrowth, a protruding belly, or bad breath? You can support the elimination of all these issues and improve your health dramatically by learning this one overlooked aspect of protein nutrition. Discover how to stay young all the years of your life. Call and listen to this free recorded message at 866-844-1047. That's 866-844-1047. 866-844-1047.
The Bill of Rights contains the first 10 amendments of our Constitution. They guarantee the specific freedoms Americans should know and protect. Our liberty depends on it. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll be right back with an unforgettable way to remember one of your constitutional rights.
Your search engine is watching you, recording all your searches and creating a massive database of your personal information. That's creepy, but it doesn't have to be that way. Startpage.com is the world's most private search engine. Startpage doesn't store your IP address, make a record of your searches, or use tracking cookies, and they're third-party certified. If you don't like Big Brother spying on you, start over with Startpage. Great search results and total privacy. Startpage.com, the world's most private search engine.
When I think of the Second Amendment, I visualize myself wrapping my two arms around the Bill of Rights in a big old bear hug. It's how I remember that the Second Amendment guarantees us the right to bear arms. Arms that embrace our freedoms and won't let anyone take them away without a fight. Get it? Two arms, bear hug, bear arms? The late Senator Hubert Humphrey captured the spirit of the Second Amendment so well when he said, "The right of the citizens to bear arms is just one guarantee against arbitrary government, one more safeguard against the tyranny which now appears remote in America, but which historically has proved to always be possible." I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht. More news and information at catherinealbrecht.com.
Moms of America know the challenge of feeding their families under the best of circumstances. Now imagine what would happen during an emergency. I'm Susanna Cole with GMN, and we've partnered with the father of the food storage industry to supply our listeners with the essentials of life. We have an individual obligation to become self-sufficient so that none of us is reliant upon the government during a time of need. And of course, women's intuition tells us that we're in big trouble, and we all know that the cost of food is skyrocketing. We see it on the grocery store shelves every day. The time is now to stock up on emergency food supplies. No more waiting. Buy your supplies now, and it's almost guaranteed that your investment is going to increase in value because the price of your supplies will be doubled in the near future. Visit GuerrillaMediaNetwork.com/food to find out more about My Farm in a Box. Ladies, I cannot emphasize enough. Use your woman's intuition and take action now to prepare your loved ones for what you know is coming. Go to GuerrillaMediaNetwork.com/food.
Visit WazooSurvivalGear.com, home of the Adventure Bracelet and other wearable survival kits today. For survival bracelets with all of the features you need for everyday challenges, with options for construction materials, individualization, and a wide range of utility features like fishhook, safety pin, whistle, cable ties, fire steel and striker blade, compass, and more. Meant to be disguised in your everyday life and ready whenever you need it. Don't forget to upgrade your Adventure Bracelet to include surgical tubing, first aid tinder fat packs, and a handcuff key. WazooSurvivalGear.com, survival bracelets, survival keychains, do-it-yourself kits, and more. Plus, if you donate $100 or more to the Guerrilla Media Network, we will send you one of Wazoo's wearable survival kits with a custom GMN nameplate as a reminder of our appreciation.
Do you have low energy, depression, inflammation, pain, colds and flus, yeast overgrowth, a protruding belly, or bad breath? You can support the elimination of all these issues and improve your health dramatically by learning this one overlooked aspect of protein nutrition. Discover how to stay young all the years of your life. Call and listen to this free recorded message at 866-844-1047. That's 866-844-1047. 866-844-1047.
This is Audio Soldier from the Sunday Night Reboot Show with this special message. GMN needs the support of each of our listeners since we will never take a dime from major corporations. Your contributions are not only appreciated, they are critical to maintaining our independence and loyalty to our listeners. Please visit www.gmn.is or GuerrillaMediaNetwork.com and click on the donate button now. Our donors and members will have access to our chat rooms, forums, and daily downloads of commercial-free iTunes podcasts. Please donate now.
Hi everyone, Keith Santilli here. Be sure to tune in live each and every day at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself and Susanna Cole join you each and every day right here on the Guerrilla Media Network, live every single day, telling you the truth whether you like it or not.